Hello everyone, how are you? Hope all of you are doing good. So, as we are doing the circulatory system, in today's class we are going to discuss again an important topic from that is about the blood vessels. Yes, because these blood vessels, these are one of the important part from our circulatory system, because these are the vessels, or these are acting as a pipe, as we have discussed. Yes, that is supplying blood all over the body. Yeah, so we will discuss about the blood vessels in today's class. So come on, let's start with the class, students. If I talk about blood vessels, so I can write here, yes, just a minute. Yeah, we can write the different types of blood vessels, which are the three important types of blood vessels that we have to study here, which is one. First, we can say it is arteries. You all know this thing. Yes. Then another, I will say veins. And one more it is there, which is called as capillaries. So arteries, veins and capillaries, these are the three blood vessels. Oh, just a minute. Yes, these are the three important blood vessels that are present in our body. If I talk about artery, यदि मैं आर्टरी की बात करती हूँ, so what do you know about this artery? हमको पता है कि आर्टरी क्या करती है. हमने हार्ट जब पढ़ा, there also we have discussed that arteries are there which are bringing what? Blood towards the heart. कि blood लेके जा रहा है from the heart. What is it? Is it bringing blood towards the heart, or it is taking blood away from the heart? What is it? If you remember, I think, yeah, the arteries, they carries the blood away from the heart. Isn't it? To the aorta, from the ventricles, the blood comes out, it passes the aorta, and from the aorta, this blood goes to the arteries, and these arteries distribute the blood to all the different parts of our body. Isn't it? तो arteries का काम क्या है? ये क्या कर रही है? It carries blood away from the heart. Heart से दूर लेके जा रही है, away from the heart. और कहाँ लेके जा रही है? It is taking away to different parts of the body, or various organs also, I can say. Am I right? If I talk about veins, यदि मैं veins की बात करती हूँ, तो veins क्या कर रहा है? It is collecting the blood from the different part of the body, and it is bringing the blood towards the heart. Heart में लेकर आ रही है blood. So I will say that it carries, yes, or it collects. More properly we can write that it collects. These are the vessels, isn't it? So if I am talking about the veins, वो एक ऐसी blood vessel है that collects blood from different organs, yes, and bring back to heart. Heart में लेकर आता है blood को. Got it? Now, if I talk about capillaries, capillaries क्या है? Capillaries आपने देखा होगा, these are the smallest blood vessel, I can say. Yes, so these are the smallest blood vessels, yes, which run throughout the body. And we cannot say here that the capillaries are taking the blood away from the heart. Heart से दूर लेके जा रही है या heart में लेकर आ रही है. No, capillaries are there which are between the veins and the arteries. Arteries और veins को जो join करेगी, ये जहाँ पर exchange का काम हो रहा है, mainly all the exchange work, it happens there in the capillaries. Okay, Okay, so these are the three important blood vessels. Now we have to discuss about each of them in very short. हम कुछ important points उसके देख लेंगे so that आपको इनके बारे में बहुत अच्छे से पता चल जाए. If I talk about this arteries, yes, if we talk about the arteries students, तो सबसे पहले arteries कैसी होती है? Arteries की जो wall रहती है, it is thick as compared to the walls of the veins or the capillaries. Capillaries की तो walls it is very thin. Okay, so the arteries wall is thicker than the other two blood vessels. Why? क्यों thick रहती है? Because you know that the arteries क्या करती है? It carries the blood away from the heart. Heart से blood को लेकर जा रही है, तो जो blood heart से बाहर निकल रहा है for the different body parts, वो कैसा रहता है? It is with a under a high pressure. तो प्रेशर ज्यादा होने के कारण वो प्रेशर को सस्टेन करना चाहिए. That's why the walls of the arteries are thicker. Got it? So I can write here that arteries have thick, muscular and elastic wall. Got it students? If I talk about the capillaries, यदि capillaries की बात करूंगी, it has very thin wall. Yes, and if I talk about veins, the veins have what? They have thin, muscular and non-elastic walls. Thin क्यों रहेगी? Again, because the blood which is flowing there, which is there in the vein, it is with a low pressure, है ना? तो ज़्यादा प्रेशर नहीं रहता या फिर प्रेशर नहीं रहता है, so the walls do not have to sustain the pressure. That's why वो एक normal thin walls की रहेगी. I hope this is clear. Now, as I told you, it is thick. Why it is thick? That also I told you. Yeah, one more thing that about the lumen. जो lumen की बात है, तो इसका lumen कैसा रहता है? It is having a very narrow lumen. Yes, narrow lumen. Whereas if I talk about the veins, it is having a wider lumen. Okay. If I talk about the capillaries, what can you see? Look, I can have some figure for you. You can see here. This is the tunica externa. Okay. Lumen means हम बात कर रहे हैं कि जो vein का जो अंदर का part रहेगा, the hollow part which is there. Yes, that is what we call it as a lumen. तो आप देखो ये जो दो लेयर है, बाहर की लेयर है, it is called as a tunica externa. Yes, the inner layer it is tunica interna. In all the cases, and the layer between the space between this externa and interna उसको हम बोलते हैं tunica media. ये lumen देखो आप, ये है artery का, it is narrow as compared to that the lumen of the vein it is wider. Got it students? So you should write or you should remember these things. Yeah. So can we write here about the lumen? I have written, I think so. We have seen here that it is having a narrow lumen and it is having a wider lumen. So more difference if I want to write about this artery and the vein, you can see यहाँ पर ये वाला दिख रहा है आपको. What is it? Arteries do not have valves. हमने valves पढ़े थे हार्ट में, the 4 different types of valves. What was the role of valves? That they were preventing the backflow of the blood, isn't it? Same role is also here of the valves, but the valves are present in veins. Veins do have valves. आर्टरीज में वाल्व्स नहीं रहते हैं, लेकिन वेन्स में वाल्व रहते हैं. ये देख रहे हो, ये वाल्व जो है ना, ये वेन्स में है. ये वेन है और ये आपका वाल्व है वहां पर. इस तरह से ये दो कस्प है और ये अभी दे आर ओपन. व्हेन इट विल बी ओपन द ब्लड विल गो pass in this direction and then when the valve closes, the blood which has gone upward, वो क्या होगा, वो वापस पीछे नहीं आ सकेगा. So it is preventing the backflow of the blood. Now again there could be a question that, ma'am, why the veins are present in the valves are present in the veins and it is not present in the arteries. Same reason students, मैंने बताया था कि arteries में जो blood flow होता है वो कैसा है, it is under high pressure, है ना. तो जब एओर्टा से ब्लड प्रेशर से बाहर निकलता है तो वो वही प्रेशर में एक साथ, वी कैन से दैट इट इज फ्लोइंग अंडर द प्रेशर, तो वो आगे की तरफ ही जाएगा. या सो इट डजंट नीड एनी वाल्व. लेकिन वेन में क्योंकि जो ब्लड रहता है इट इज हैविंग नो प्रेशर और इट इज हैविंग वेरी लेस प्रेशर, तो जब आप लोअर पार्ट से अपर पार्ट्स में वेन आ रहा है, ब्लड आ रहा है, सो इट इज मूविंग क्या बोलेंगे, अपोजिट टू द ग्रेविटी ऑल्सो, है ना. नीचे से ऊपर की तरफ आ रहा है, प्रेशर भी नहीं है, सो इट इज more chances are there that that blood with a less pressure or no pressure can again flow back. वो फिर से नीचे की तरफ आ सकता है. जब ऐसे जा रहा है, so it is possible that it can flow in this way again because it is under very less pressure or no pressure. And if it come downwards, if there is a backflow, then the blood will not reach towards the heart. Heart तक reach नहीं होगा ना. So that's why to prevent the backflow of blood in the veins have valves. I hope what is the reason of the valves, this much is very much clear. And yes, the valves are also the pocket shaped valves. Yes, जैसे आपके semilunar valves थे ना pocket shaped, these are also the pocket shaped valves. I have given you this figure also. Clear? Now in this veins the blood flows uniformly, students. Yes, whereas in the arteries जो blood flow हो रहा है, it flows in under high pressure, तो वो कैसे होता है, जैसे ventricle contraction होता है तो वो बाहर निकलेगा, ठीक है, तो वो high pressure में निकलेगा. Then one more important thing, that arteries divides into smaller branches, and that smaller branches are called as what? Arterioles. Yes, arteries divide into smaller branches as arterioles. For example, if this is an artery, yes, ये artery है, तो ये फिर यहाँ से divide होना शुरू करेगी into smaller branches. Got it? And these smaller branches are called as what? These are called as arterioles. I hope this is clear. अब ये जो arterioles है, arterioles again it breaks again into capillaries, more smaller branches. Yes, जैसे ये arterioles आपको बताया मैंने, ये arterioles ऐसे आगे जाएगा and then again it is breaking into more smaller parts and this will form what? ये बन जाएगी आपकी capillaries. I hope this is also clear how the capillaries are formed. ये देखो, yes, इस तरह से in that way the capillaries it will be formed. Similarly, if I talk about the veins, veins also divides. Veins divides into again smaller branches और उसको क्या बोलेंगे? As venules. What is it called? Venules. Similar, जैसे arteries divide हो रहा है arteriole में, उसी तरह से veins divide होंगे venules में. And the venules are, I can say, larger. Yes, you can write here venules are larger as compared to arterioles. Yes, and it is larger, but it is what? Having much weaker wall. I hope this is clear. वेन्यूज भी फर्दर डिवाइड हो गए और उससे क्या बन जाएगी, कैपिलरीज, है ना. सो दिस इज अबाउट व्हाट वी कैन से. वन मोर रीजन दैट हाउ द प्रेशर इन द आर्टरीज आर मेंटेन. जैसे मैंने बताया कि ल्यूमेन जो आर्टरीज का है वो छोटा है एज कंपेयर टू द ल्यूमेन ऑफ द वेन्स. तो जब जगह कम रहेगी सो डेफिनेटली प्रेशर डेवलप रहेगा वहां पे, है ना. जब स्पेस बढ़ जाएगी सो इट इज इजी टू गो. सो प्रेशर क्या हो जाएगा, कम हो जाएगा, है ना. छोटा रास्ता रहा और बहुत ट्रैफिक रहा, बहुत ज्यादा हेवी ट्रैफिक रहा, तो डेफिनेटली द प्रेशर ऑन द रोड बिकम्स हायर. Same thing happens here because of this wider and the narrow lumen. Yeah, so pressure is maintained in that way. I think this is clear about the arteries and the veins. यहाँ तक सबको समझ में आया. We have just discussed the important differences or important point from there. Okay, now if I talk about capillaries. Yes, यदि मैं capillaries की बात करती हूँ तो हम क्या बोल सकते हैं. Capillaries, as I told you, it is the smallest blood vessel, isn't it? It is having a very narrow tube. Yes, very narrow. I think whether I have written about the lumen, it is not there. Yeah, we can write here very narrow lumen, isn't it? So now, if I am talking about this capillaries, हम बोल सकते हैं कि smallest vessel with what? Just one wall thick. Sorry, one cell thick. Yes, this capillaries, they don't have muscles. Yes, they have no muscles. Then they have one important I can say characteristic या feature होता है capillaries में, that they can constrict or they can dilate. Yes, वो अपने आप constrict यानी छोटी हो सकती है और वो फैल भी सकती है, बड़ी भी हो सकती है. ये property, ये feature capillaries के पास होता है. So we can say that it can dilate. Dilation को हम बोलते हैं vasodilation. Yes, we can also call it as a vasodilation, remember. Yeah, or we can say it can contract also, and the contraction we call it as a vasoconstriction. क्यों dilate और contract होती है? It can dilate or contract, students, to increase or decrease the blood supply. ठीक है. यदि कभी due to some reason if the blood supply to some particular part, it is needed that the blood supply should be less, कम हो जाना चाहिए वहाँ पे blood supply, तो sorry capillaries क्या हो जाएगी, capillary it will show the vasodilation. Dilation होगा, no, it will show vasoconstriction. Yeah, it will contract. Yes, if there is a need of high blood supply, then it will dilate so that more blood can pass. ठीक है. जैसे एक बहुत ही simple example है, if we are walking in a very high speed and there is a hot sun, तो आप देखते हो जब हम बहुत धूप में से आते हैं and someone is very much fair, we can see very easily with its face that उनके चेहरे it becomes reddish or pinkish. Why it is becoming pink? Because the blood flow is more there. So यहाँ पर क्या हुआ? It is vasodilation. Similarly, if it is very cold, yes, the face turns dull, थोड़ा सा bluish whitish हो जाता है. That means at that time the blood flow is less. That is due to the vasoconstriction. So this is a property that is seen by the capillaries also. I hope this is clear. यहाँ तक समझ में आया everyone? Yeah. So can we write here, or can we say this thing that if the oxygenated blood is there, it enters the arteries. Yes, arteries breakup होगी arterioles में. Arterioles और divide होंगे and they will form the capillaries. Capillaries में वो oxygenated blood जाएगा और exchange होगा यहाँ पर. Yes, exchange of gases will take place, of the important substance will take place. उसके बाद में वो blood जाएगा venule में. Venule से it will go to the veins, and from the veins where it will go to the, or it will, this is the deoxygenated blood. Yes, वो वेना के वहाँ से हार्ट के अंदर चला जाएगा थ्रू द राइट एट्रियम. एम आई राइट? सो इस तरह से ये तीनों ब्लड वेसल्स अपना अपना काम करती है. आई होप दिस इज क्लियर अगेन. या so the next thing that we will discuss here is what are the different functions of, you can see this figure. Very sorry. You can see in this figure, this is your artery. यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हो ये arteries है. Oh, very okay. Yes, this is the artery students. अब ये artery यहाँ से break हो रही है ना, divide हो रही है, यहाँ से भी divide हो रही है, तो ये क्या हो गया, ये हो गया arterioles, है ना. अभी आर्टीरियोल यहाँ से और ब्रांच स्ट्रक्चर में डिवाइड हो रहा है, एंड दिस इज कॉल्ड एज अ कैपिलरी. सिमिलरली if this is a vein, vein will divide into venule, and this venule it will further divide into more branch structure which is called as capillary. So in this way ये जो capillary network form होता है ना, यहाँ पर सारा exchange होता है. This capillaries you can see there near the you can say the air pockets there, है ना. लंग्स में आप देखोगे एल्वियोला है, वहां पर भी कैपिलरी नेटवर्क होता है. क्यों? बिकॉज देयर विल बी द एक्सचेंज ऑफ गैसेस देयर. सिमिलरली इस तरह का कैपिलरी नेटवर्क आपको सेल्स के पास में मिलेगा. जब आपका ब्लड सेल में जाएगा, देयर विल बी द एक्सचेंज ऑफ द सब्सटेंसेस, न्यूट्रिएंट्स एंड द गैसेस. So wherever the exchanges are required, there will be the capillaries, you can see. And बॉडी के बहुत से ऐसे पार्ट्स है जहाँ पर ब्लड इजीली रिच नहीं हो सकता है थ्रू द वे आर्टरीज. सो देयर दिस इज डन बाय द कैपिलरीज, है ना. वहाँ पर ये सारा काम कौन हेल्प करता है? दिस इज डन बाय द कैपिलरी. आई थिंक दिस इज क्लियर टू ऑल ऑफ यू. So there are so much or so many capillaries in our body. So we can say that also, यदि suppose for example हम यदि सारी capillaries हमारे body की निकालें, all the blood capillaries, and if we keep them end to end, है ना, उसको एक के बाद एक ऐसा लगा दिए, so उनकी length, you can imagine how much the length could be there. It could be 1 lakh kilometer, nearly उतनी लंबी हो जाएगी. So you can see how much or how dense network is there of this capillaries in our body, isn't it? So we will just see the functions of capillaries also. We will write it down. कुछ functions में कुछ important functions है दे रही हूँ, so you can also note it down. If I talk about capillaries, the functions of capillaries. What we can write first of all, सबसे पहली functions हम क्या लिख सकते हैं कि diffusion जो भी हो रहा है, so it is allowing the diffusion. दोनों diffusion, ऑक्सीजन का diffusion बोलो, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड का बोलो, या फिर और the different substances. So first of all it allows diffusion. अब diffusion किसका? You can write diffusion of oxygen. Yes, कहाँ पर? Into the intercellular fluid. Isn't it? And tissue cells. Cells तक लेकर जाएगा. Similarly, cells से कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड का डिफ्यूजन, वो डिफ्यूज होकर कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड को वापस से ब्लड में लेकर आएगा. So you can write here diffusion of carbon dioxide of this, then of carbon dioxide, students, from the intercellular fluid, isn't it? From intercellular fluid and the tissue cells, वहां से वो CO2 को diffuse out करेगा. Yes, similarly it also allows diffusion of what? Other substances like glucose, yes, then some hormones, enzymes, amino acids, then waste as a you can say urea. ये सारों को भी इनका भी diffusion करता है. The essential substances are diffused in the cells and the non-essential, that means waste, they are taken from the cells, yes, and in that way it is diffused. So these all are the functions of the capillaries. One more functions you can write about the capillary. आप एक और लिख सकते हो, ये तीन diffusion हो गया. Then you can also write, students, that it also allows the leukocyte, students, to squeeze out. कैपिलरीज में से ये ल्यूकोसाइट बाहर निकल सकते हैं. It allows it to squeeze out through the capillary walls. Yes, now role of leukocyte you all know. क्यों जरूरत पड़ती है बॉडी में ल्यूकोसाइट की, you all know. So this leukocyte can be squeezed out easily through the capillary walls. Okay, so these are the functions of capillaries. Now I have taken some important points for the arteries and veins as a differentiation point. You can also note it down, and if you get some more you can also write it down. आप और भी कुछ नए points add कर सकते हो उसमें, but मुझे जो important लगे I have taken this for you. So we can say here, students, if I am talking about the arteries, you can see here that the arteries, what it carries the blood away from the heart, whereas the veins carries blood away from the organ. Now here I have written except hepatic portal vein. इसके बारे में मैं आपको बताऊंगी why I have written this except hepatic portal vein. Okay, just remember this thing. Then arteries have a thick elastic wall, they have thin non-elastic walls. Arteries lumen is narrow, it is having wider lumen. ये हमने already पढ़ लिया है. Now, arteries carries oxygenated blood except the pulmonary artery. ये आपको पता है? Pulmonary artery क्या करती है? Pulmonary artery it carries deoxygenated blood. Yes, it is carrying it away from the heart. लेकिन deoxygenated blood कहाँ पर लेके जा रही है? Towards the lungs from the heart, isn't it? Similarly, the veins carries deoxygenated blood except pulmonary veins, because pulmonary vein is carrying the oxygenated blood. Yes, now the blood flows under the great pressure in the arteries. Here the blood flows under a less pressure. So the valves are absent in the arteries, but valves are present in the veins. Arteries, when they are empty, students, they will not collapse. Yeah, but veins can collapse when they are empty. And the arteries are generally placed deeper in our body, but veins are superficial. Yes, near the skin. हमको ये जो दिखती है ना, what we can see which is above the skin, or we can see that, yes, that are the veins. क्योंकि veins ऊपर की तरफ रहती है, arteries आपको easily नहीं दिखेगी. It is deeper there. Okay, so these are some difference between the arteries and veins. Now I am just going for this. What do you mean by this hepatic portal vein? Yeah, इसको क्या है ये hepatic portal vein? आप देख सकते हो. This is what is hepatic portal vein. यहाँ पर ये जो vein दिख रही है ना, what is this? Or how it is different from the other veins? Actually, students, we know that जो भी veins हैं, veins का काम क्या है? It is carrying the deoxygenated blood and the waste substances, और वो directly cell से कहाँ लेकर आ रही है? Cells और tissue से. It is bringing the blood to the vena cava, and through the vena cava it is going into the heart. Am I right? But जो स्टमक और लीवर की जो स्टमक और इंटेस्टाइन की वेन होती है, हियर आई हैव रिटन रॉन्ग, यस इट इज नॉट लीवर, दिस शुड बी, जस्ट अ मिनट, या इट इज नॉट लीवर देयर, इट शुड बी इंटेस्टाइन, ओके। तो जो स्टमक और लीवर से जो वेन निकलती है ना स्टूडेंट्स, दे विल नॉट गो डायरेक्टली टू द वेना केवा एंड इनटू द हार्ट, बट वो पहले जाती है लीवर में। सो वो वेन की रिपोर्टिंग पहले कहाँ होती है, लीवर में। तो ये आपका इंटेस्टाइन है, ये आपका स्टमक है, यहाँ से ये वेन्स निकल रही है, ये यहाँ पर ज्वाइन हो जाएगी, और जब ये ज्वाइन होती है तो इसको हम बोलते हैं हिपैटिक पोर्टल वेन, और ये दोनों तरफ से ज्वाइन होके सिंगल वेन एज अ हिपैटिक पोर्टल वेन आपकी कहाँ एंटर हो रही है, वो एंटर हो जाएगी लीवर में, and after that it will come out of the liver and then it goes into the, or it empties the blood into the vena cava, and then the blood enters the heart. Yes, so ये directly heart में नहीं जा रही है through the vena cava, it is first going to the liver. Why it is going first to the liver? Can anyone give me the answer for that? Yeah, एक्चुअली व्हाट हैपेंस, लीवर क्या काम करता है और इंटेस्टाइन और स्टमक में क्या काम हो रहा है, जनरली स्टमक में कुछ डाइजेशन होता है, लीवर में आप इंटेस्टाइन में आपका डाइजेशन कंप्लीट होता है, एंड एब्जॉर्प्शन इज आल्सो डन, इजंट इट? तो जो फूड विच इज एब्जॉर्ब बाय द स्टमक एंड द इंटेस्टाइन, यस इट इज फर्स्ट ब्रॉट टू द लीवर, वो लीवर में पहले लेके आया जाता है, क्यों? क्योंकि यदि वो एक्सेस फूड है, यस सपोज ग्लूकोज या शुगर एक्सेस है हमारी बॉडी में, ऑलरेडी द शुगर इज देयर, वी डोंट नीड दैट द मोर अमाउंट ऑफ शुगर, तो वो शुगर लीवर में रख ली जाएगी, इट इज स्टोर्ड देयर, वी नो दैट द शुगर विल बी स्टोर्ड एज अ व्हाट, एज अ ग्लाइकोजन, isn't it? Similarly यदि वो फूड जो एब्जॉर्ब हुआ है उसमें सपोज कोई टॉक्सिक सब्सटेंस आ गए, सो उसका डिटॉक्सिफिकेशन भी लीवर में होगा, and then this good blood I can say, which is not having any poisons, which is not having any extra food material also, if it is there, it enters the heart through the vena cava for purification. Got it students? So that's why इसीलिए हम उसको पहले लीवर में लेके जाते हैं, और ये जो वेन लीवर में लेकर जा रही है एक ही कंबाइन होके जाती है, द वेन फ्रॉम द intestine and stomach, it combine, it forms a hepatic portal vein. This hepatic portal vein enters the liver, and this hepatic portal vein comes out of the liver in a form of, इसको बोलेंगे हम क्या, what is it called as? It is called as hepatic vein then. Yes, this is hepatic vein, और ये hepatic vein फिर enter होगी to the vena cava into the right atrium of our heart. I hope this is clear. तो आप देखो यहाँ पर क्या देख रहे हो, come on, one more important point I want to share with you. आप देख रहे हो यहाँ पे ये सारी capillaries है in the intestine and as well as in the stomach. You can see the capillaries have joined to form the venules, isn't it? And this venules have joined to form this vein. बराबर है? अब ये वेन, दोनों वेन मिल गई और उन्होंने बना दिया हिपैटिक पोर्टल वेन। हिपैटिक पोर्टल वेन जैसे ही लीवर में एंटर होगी, फिर से वो डिवाइड हो रही है, यू कैन सी इट इज डिवाइडिंग इनटू द कैपिलरी, स्मॉलर वेन्यूल्स और कैपिलरीज में। अब ये कैपिलरी स्टूडेंट्स अगेन इट विल जॉइन एंड इट विल फॉर्म वेन्स एंड इट कम्स आउट एज अ हिपैटिक वेन। सो मैं इसको ऐसे लिख सकती हूँ, आई कैन राइट हियर स्टमक, if this is a stomach and this is your intestine, तो stomach से the capillaries Yes, they will form or they will merge to form a vein. Here also the capillaries. I'm not writing venules and all. Now this is understood, है ना? अब ये दोनों vein आके they will join here and they will form hepatic portal vein. अभी hepatic portal vein enter करेगी liver में. Yes, in the liver then again it is, I can say, divided into or divides into capillaries. Yes, and then it whatever the exchange and all is needed, this capillaries again joins to form vein, and it comes out as hepatic vein. और ये hepatic vein कहाँ जाएगी? Hepatic vein joins the posterior vena cava, क्योंकि the blood that is coming from the lower part of your body, it is through the posterior vena cava, na? So join to the posterior vena cava, and from the posterior vena cava it empties into the heart. Yes, it goes to the heart, actually the right atrium of the heart. तो ये वाली जो, इसीलिए हम इसको बोलते हैं हिपैटिक पोर्टल वेन. और क्यों हिपैटिक पोर्टल वेन का रोल क्या है? Why this is formed? Why this vein do not directly merge to the posterior vena cava? The reason I told you, so that the storage can be there and detoxification of the poisons or the toxic substance from the blood can also be done there. Yeah. So can we say, you can see यहाँ पर एक चीज है, I will write it down, you can note this thing also, that if I talk about this portal vein, you must have seen that this portal vein starts with capillary, am I right, as well as ends in capillaries. Yes or no? स्टार्ट हुई कैपिलरीज से, देखो, और एंड भी कहां से हुई? एंड भी हुई वो कैपिलरीज में ही. So it starts with capillaries and ends with capillaries. This is, we can say, about this portal vein. Okay, so this is about the hepatic portal vein. I hope now this is also very much clear to all of you students. So I think I have an idea कि हमने अभी तक जो blood vessels के बारे में पढ़ा, we will summarize it. Now how to summarize? In my method, I will always try to make the flow chart or a short steps by which we can summarize. So if I talk about heart, yes, यदि मैं heart की बात करती हूँ, so what we have seen here students, heart में blood कहाँ से आ रहा है? First of all आपका वेना केवा, so you can say एक तो anterior वेना केवा, दूसरा है आपका पोस्टीरियर वेना केवा, जिसको हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं? यू कैन ऑल्सो कॉल इट सुपीरियर वेना केवा एंड इंफीरियर वेना केवा, एज वेल एज पल्मोनरी आर्टरी. और क्या लेके आ रहा है? इज इट टेकिंग द ब्लड और yes, or it is bringing the blood? Pulmonary artery will take, so I will write here pulmonary veins. Yes, you can see here pulmonary veins. This is bringing the blood in. ये यहाँ से blood अंदर आ रहा है. This is through to the right atrium. ये आ जाता है कहाँ पर? Right atrium में. और ये कहाँ जा रहा है? पल्मोनरी वेन से लेफ्ट एट्रियम में. ये कहाँ से आ रहा है? पल्मोनरी वेन से. It is the blood is bringing or it is brought through the from the lungs, and this is from the different body parts, है ना? So this is the blood vessels which are taking the blood towards the where or in the heart. So these are the veins. If I talk about the blood which goes out of the heart, एक तो होगा आपका थ्रू एओर्टा, एओर्टा से इट विल गो टुवर्ड्स द बॉडी, isn't it? और दूसरा होगा थ्रू योर पल्मोनरी आर्टरी, isn't it? It will again go to the lungs for the purification. So these are the blood vessels which are related with the heart. If I talk about the blood vessels which are related with your liver or kidney, which is there? Oh, very sorry. Which are there? If I talk about, come on, kidney. It is very simple for kidney. Kidney के लिए you don't have to go much there. It is very simple. Because it is kidney, so we will name it as a renal. Yeah, तो हम एक तो renal vein बोलेंगे. Renal vein. Yes, this vein is what it is taking. This is taking the blood away from the kidney towards the heart. Yes, to posterior vena cava. और किडनी में ब्लड किसके थ्रू आ रहा है अंदर? द ब्लड इज कमिंग फ्रॉम द आर्टरी दैट इज कॉल्ड एज अ रीनल आर्टरी. यस, दिस इज कमिंग फ्रॉम एओर्टा. आई होप दिस इज क्लियर. तो ये दो ब्लड वेसल्स हो गए, रीनल आर्टरी और रीनल वेन, विच इज रिलेटेड विद द किडनी एंड द हार्ट. द थर्ड टाइप जस्ट नाउ वी हैव डिस्कस लीवर. यदि मैं लीवर की बात करूंगी, सो व्हाट यू हैव सीन हियर? इन द लीवर फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल जो ब्लड अंदर आता है, इट इज कमिंग फ्रॉम हिपैटिक आर्टरी. यू कैन सी द नेम, अलग अलग नाम देख रहे हो. If it is related with the liver, it is hepatic. If it is related with your kidney, it is renal. If it is related with the lungs, it is pulmonary. Am I right? So remember all these things. So this hepatic artery from the aorta, it brings the blood to the liver, students. Yeah. और ब्लड बाहर जा रहा है हिपैटिक वेन से, लीवर से बाहर जा रहा है हिपैटिक वेन से to the vena cava. Again the posterior side of the vena cava or posterior vena cava. Also liver में hepatic portal vein से भी blood अंदर आ रहा है, isn't it? From the hepatic portal vein also it is coming out, coming in. Yes, and this is from intestine and what? Stomach. और बाहर जा रहा है again as a portal vein. I hope this is clear. So this is the blood vessels which are there related to the liver, to the kidney as well as to the heart and the lungs. I hope now this much is very very clear to all of you. If you have any doubt, again students, आपको यदि कोई doubt है, you can write it in the comment box. Okay. Now the next part, a very small part we will discuss is about the lymphatic system. अभी तक हमने पढ़ा था कि circulatory system था जिसमें circulation या transportation हो रहा था with the help of the blood. Yeah, but there is one more type of transportation that is done with another type of fluid, and that fluid is called as lymph or the tissue fluid. Yeah, generally we have seen that the transportation is done with the help of the blood, am I right? But this lymph is also another type of fluid which is responsible for some sort of transportation. Now you can say that, ma'am, what is this lymph? Isn't it? Actually what happens, now listen carefully students, क्या होता है, जैसे ही blood आपका आता है capillaries में, yes, the blood flows in the capillaries. उस समय में, as I told you that the capillaries it allows to squeeze some of the materials, isn't it? So some amount of plasma, proteins and the blood cells like leukocyte I told you, है ना, they leak out from this capillaries. Capillaries से squeeze out हो सकते हैं, बाहर निकलते हैं through the capillary walls. Yes, though there are some minute pores on the walls, वो pores से ये चीजें बाहर निकल जाती है. कहाँ बाहर जाएगी? It will go into the intercellular spaces. टिश्यू के बीच में जो स्पेसेस रहेंगे सेल्स के बीच में, वहां पर ये स्क्वीज आउट होता है. यस, अब ये जो फ्लूइड बाहर निकल गया ब्लड कैपिलरी से, इसको हम बोलेंगे टिश्यू फ्लूइड. व्हाट वी कॉल्ड इट? टिश्यू फ्लूइड्स. या अब ये टिश्यू फ्लूइड से ऑक्सीजन है, कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट यूजफुल सब्सटेंसेस है, न्यूट्रिएंट्स है, ये सारी चीजें सेल एब्जॉर्ब कर लेगा. इट इज एब्जॉर्ब बाय द सेल्स. At the same time, the waste things like urea and other toxic things as well as carbon dioxide, it is transferred to the blood. Yes, into the same fluid. Now this tissue fluid should have enter again to the capillaries. वो फिर से अभी capillaries के अंदर चला जाना चाहिए और वो blood के थ्रू बाहर निकल जाएगा into the heart. Am I right? For purification. लेकिन this doesn't happen. All the tissue fluid, students, do not enter the capillaries. सारा tissue fluid capillaries में enter नहीं होता है, but it is reabsorbed into a lymphatic capillaries. You can see here. Yes, it is reabsorbed there into this lymph capillaries or lymphatic capillaries, which enters into another minute vessels, which we call it as the lymph vessels. Yes, और ये जो lymph vessel है, lymph vessel बाद में it opens into the larger, that is the vena cava. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पर क्या हुआ? blood instead of entering the fluid, tissue fluid, instead of entering directly into the capillary blood, it will go into the lymph capillaries. अब ये lymph capillaries ये tissue fluid को और ये इसको, ये fluid को फिर हम उस एक बार वो lymph capillary में चला गया, that fluid is called as a lymph there. Okay, so this lymph is transported then into the lymphatic vessel, and then from the lymphatic meadows you can see ये जो है ये आपके lymph nodes है. Yes, and then from there it will enter into the main vein, that is the vena cava, और बाद में वो heart में उस तरह से चला जाएगा. You can see the lymph capillaries there in the tissue, as well as the lymph capillaries are here also near the lungs there. Okay, so this is what is called as the lymphatic system. I hope this is clear. यहाँ तक समझ में आया? So I can say that the lymph कैसा है? Lymph आपके blood का जो plasma रहता है, it is similar to that the plasma. But what is there? It is colorless. और साथ साथ the amount of protein is very less. One more thing, there will be no platelets in the lymph. That is a major difference there. Okay, so what is lymph, students? You can write here that it is similar to plasma with less protein and no platelets. What is the role of lymph? Lymph का काम क्या है? Less protein, that means you can make here one more thing, that प्रोटीन कंटेंट बहुत कम रहता है. इफ आई टेक अबाउट द 100%, तो उसमें से आप देख सकते हो कि 96% जो रहेगा, सॉरी 94% नियरली, इट इज वाटर विच इज प्रेजेंट इन द लिम्फ, एंड रिमेनिंग 6%, yes, there will be some solids. अब ये solids में the proteins can be there, yes, then fats, carbs, yes, some antibodies, इस तरह से कुछ चीजें रहेगी. वो सारा मिला के कितना होता है? Just 6%. Remaining 94% is water only. I hope this is clear. Now students, lymph drains into the lymphatic capillary. जैसे मैंने बताया कि वो lymphatic capillaries में जाएगा, ये tissue fluid जिसको हम lymph बोलते हैं, from the intercellular spaces. lymphatic capillaries किसको ज्वाइन करता है? lymph vessel को ज्वाइन करता है, और lymph vessel finally larger veins में open होता है, जिसको हम vena cava बोलते हैं, isn't it? Now this lymph also supplies, what is the role of transportation? Is the role of lymph also. So it supplies the oxygen and nutrition to those parts where the blood cannot reach. Okay. One more function of this lymph is that it drains away the excess tissue fluid and metabolites and return proteins into the blood. एक्सेस का यदि फ्लूइड रहेगा ना, उसको वो बाहर निकाल देगा, उसको ड्रेन अवे कर लेगा, लेकिन उसमें से प्रोटीन लेके ब्लड को रिटर्न करेगा. साथ साथ इफ यू रिमेम्बर In one of my class when I was taking absorption of food, there I have shown you that जब फैट का absorption होता है स्टूडेंट्स, तो absorb होने के बाद में फैट ब्लड कैपिलरीज में absorb नहीं होता है थ्रू द विलाई, but it enters to the lymphatics. There are a part called as a lacteals in the villi. Villi में lacteals नाम की है. Through that lacteals they are absorbed and it enters the lymphatic system. So the fats are not absorbed in the blood capillaries. Remember, this is again very important point to remember. And one more thing, lymphocytes and the monocytes of the lymph, they are there to defend the body. ठीक है, इस तरह से lymph is also one of the useful transporter we can say in our body. यहाँ तक समझ में आया? Now the last part I will just write to add here, that is spleen. I have not taken the figure for the spleen, but it is very small organ students, जो कि stomach के ऊपर में, I can say behind the stomach, और आपकी किडनी के ऊपर में आपको दिखेगा, above the left kidney. Yes, so it is a lymphatic organ. What is spleen? It is a lymphatic organ. हम उसको जब फिगर में दिखाते हैं और we can say it is a little bit reddish color organ हम बोलते हैं. Yes, which is situated in abdomen, behind the stomach, and above left kidney. Okay, this is the position where you can see the spleen is there. अब spleen का काम क्या है? आप जब ब्लड की बात करते हो, जब आरबीसीज की बात करते हो, आपने देखा होगा, आपने पढ़ा होगा कि आरबीसीज बनता, स्प्लीन बनाता है कहाँ, कब बनाता है? यस, इन एन एम्ब्रियो. जब एम्ब्रियो स्टेज रहता है, एट दैट टाइम द आरबीसीज आर फॉर्म्ड और इट इज produced by the spleen. So I can write here that the spleen produces red blood cell, students, RBCs, in an embryo. ठीक है, with that it also produces lymphocytes. Got it, students? It is a lymphatic organ. Am I right? इतना याद रखोगे आप. Now, when it is an embryo stage, it is definitely going to produce RBC. But spleen में जो destroyed या जो damaged RBC रहेगी, उसका destroy भी होता है. So just like liver तो करता ही है. Yes, spleen destroys damaged RBCs. Yeah, also it acts like a reservoir या फिर blood reservoir. That means जब भी ज़रूरत पड़ेगी वो आपको provide करेगा. Like suppose if there is some stress condition is there. Yes, या फिर if there is some injury and there is a lot of blood loss, hemorrhage वाला condition आ गया, या फिर some sort of poisoning like carbon monoxide poisoning if it is there. In all this condition, what happens? The blood becomes less. So in such condition, this spleen, it releases the stored blood into the bloodstream. That's why I've written that it acts as a blood reservoir. Yeah, so this was little about spleen. अभी के लिए आपको इतना समझ गया, उतना it is enough there. In a higher classes, definitely you will go, you will study more about the spleen also. But for now, just remember all these things about the spleen. Okay, so we'll stop here, students. I hope you understood all the parts that we have discussed. So if you like the classes, you can share it, and if you have not subscribed, please subscribe the channel, as well as uh, go with the like button also, isn't it? Also, we have Arth Academy app, students. In the app, you can, if you are downloading the app there, you can get the study materials also along with the video lectures of each and every topic in detail. Okay, so you can use that also. Till then, all of you, bye bye, take care. I hope you enjoy the class. So thank you, all the best, keep learning, and I'm sharing the link of the app also the link is provided in the description box. You can directly download it from there. So till then, all of you, bye bye, take care, see you soon in the next class. Bye.